Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about something very important. But before we get onto the topic, I want to say thank you for everyone checking in on me. I really do appreciate it. Things were a bit busy in cartoon world. But I'm here and doing well. And thanking Jesus Christ every day for his blessings. And I'm thankful to all of you all that watch my content. Even through the shadow bans. Which is still going on. And the ups and downs. You are still here and I really do appreciate you. But today I wanted to talk about a topic that shows how narcissistic abuse and narcissistic manipulation is a part of our society. So much so it's become normalized. And I believe this is why my channel was shadow banned so many years ago. And if some of you remember, I compared the same brainwashing a narcissist parent does to their kids growing up. And even the brainwashing that comes from the narcissist spouse are exactly the same tactics and methods done on a larger scale by those that want a communist society. I didn't call anyone names. I just went over the name calling others do. The manipulation. The pretending to have your best interests at heart. When all they want is control over you. And how the narcissist that was in your life shares the same patterns and evil manipulation as those that want to rule over society. And before you know it, my channel was shadow banned. And everything went haywire. And those of you that have been around for a long time remember when all of that happened. Now why would such a video like that be a problem? Why? Maybe because the words in that video were true. And you can't manipulate people if someone is showing you how the manipulation is done. You see. It's okay if you talk about narcissists in a general sense. Or if you focus in on narcissist men. And there are a lot of narcissist men just as there are a lot of narcissist women. But if you talk a lot about narcissist women, you get shadow banned. Why? You see. How you know how something is off in a relationship with someone or a family member or even in society is you are bullied or manipulated into believing or doing or living the way someone wants you to be. You see. It's very simple. It's the scapegoat. Golden child syndrome or creation. And I've said this before. But I will say it again. A narcissist parent oftentimes when their children are quite young will overtly lie right in front of them. Something so big and obvious where the narcissist parent will know that their children will know it's a lie. And the reason why they are doing this is because they want to see which child is going to go along with the lie and which one won't. And that will give them their answer on who will be the scapegoat and who will be the golden child. I remember when I was quite young. And my mother was lying to someone on the phone about something that seemed really important. Or so it seemed. It was like my mother was using someone for something. Which was quite normal for my mother. She would often get people to feel sorry for her for one reason or another. And then they would get sucked into her world and she would use them until they were either all used up. Or they would finally get frustrated with her and go no contact. And I don't even remember what she was lying about. But it didn't match something she had just said about this person and situation with this person. Before she got on the phone with them. And when she got off the phone. I even at a very very young age. I asked why were you lying to that nice person that is trying to help her? My mother went into full gaslight mode and tried to tell me that I didn't hear what I thought I heard. And she didn't say earlier what I knew she had said. And she also did the same routine with something she I believe moved in the house. And then said I moved it. And got me on a hamster wheel trying to prove myself. But what my mother was watching for was reactions. And during all of this, either my golden child brother said and or did nothing. Or he strongly took my mother's side and strongly stood against me. You see. When you are a child and you rely solely upon your parent or parents for your survival, it can be extremely problematic to go against them. And this is why narcissist parents do this test. Because they know at least one of their children will comply with the lies. The gaslighting and manipulation. Simply because they are afraid of being abandoned if they don't comply with such strange behavior. But the child or children that stand on truth, they know they must target them, silence them, and do whatever they can to make sure no one believes a word they have to say. Because they, meaning the narcissist, know their intentions are utterly and completely no good. And they can't have someone out there showing others how narcissists work their evil and magic. And what is really happening in this abusive and toxic home. And the narcissist parent and spouse will say and do all kinds of things, pretending to have your best interests at heart. And there are tons of examples one can especially give regarding a narcissist spouse. They might try to convince you if you just do this or that. All of the problems that you have in the relationship, problems the narcissist created, mind you, will somehow magically disappear and things will all of a sudden get better. These are things like legally getting married to the state. Legally getting married to the state with no documents drawn up to protect you in case something goes wrong. They will convince you to move away from an area where you know people that can help you if you were in trouble. They will tell you that you have to move out with them, either by putting your name on a lease with them, or even worse, buying a home with them. They will say things can't get better unless you get a checking or savings account together. And in some cases they will convince you to sell your car so you both can just get one car for the home. A car that you will get blamed for every time something is wrong with it. But they are the only one that gets to use it anytime they want. But you have to beg and plead to use it. Same with the checking account. You will get lectured and screamed at for buying 2 coffees a month. But they can spend how they please. But how they got there and how they got you to agree to all of this is under the guise they care about you and they so-called care about the relationship. But the truth is, all they care about is control and rulership over you. And I have news for you. People that are like that will say whatever lie they have to say in order for you to go along with their mess. Because they know. They know once you sign your name on the dotted line to whatever it is they want, they know it will be hell to get away from them. Well, if we look around at society, what are you seeing? A lot of name calling in the name of so-called justice and helping others. When in reality, who is really being helped? Mocking and gaslighting others. Making people so afraid to go against the grain they side with whatever is going on in society and whatever the popular opinion is. This is why the media is so powerful. Because if it can push out a narrative and get others to repeat it, people will go along with it. Simply because they don't want to be the odd man or odd woman out. And before you know it, it will become a snowball effect where more and more people will become golden children. And the hope is everyone else will just roll over and give a bunch of narcissists and psychopaths control over them. Under the guise of, well, if you do this or that, things will get better somehow. Well, I have news for you. When you keep on giving and giving and giving to the narcissist, things do not get better. They only get worse. And it becomes a bigger problem to get away from them. This is why it's important to not go along with the narcissistic bullying and brainwashing. Have you noticed even in your personal life? Going against the narcissist often makes you look like the bad guy or bad woman. This is why a great many people don't do it. And this is why a great many stay in the situation they are in longer than they have to. Because they are confused and they second guess themselves. Thinking, am I really the bad one here? But then when things get really bad, the victim of this narcissist could care less anymore what anyone thinks. And they break free. But I want you to know, this bullying tactic and manipulation tactic is super powerful. This is why the model is done over and over and over in all walks of life. From the narcissist home, to the job you might work at or the school you might be attending, to how people are trying to push people to believing how society should be run. And this is something I've been thinking about. And you've probably seen others making videos about how it seems the spark of happiness is gone from people in general in society. and how a great many people don't engage in fun activities anymore. And this is something I'm going to make a video about, because I think it deserves its own video. But look at almost all fun aspects of life, and look at how they are being ruined. Almost like it's been done on purpose. You see, a great many of these people that think this way and want others to live this way aren't happy people. And they can't stand to see others happy. And just like in personal settings, a true narcissist will snake their way into someone's life and figure out a way of getting this person to willingly give up their own happiness. Again, narcissists use bullying or they use manipulation. Bullying would be, and I know I've mentioned this before, you got a brand new pair of shoes, and you are so happy to wear them to school. And these are really nice shoes. But when you get to school, you get made fun of because of your shoes you were so proud of. Well, what is the point of this bullying? To alter your behavior to get you to stop wearing these nice shoes you really are happy to own. And believe it or not, it works. Well, what's an example where this happens in society? Well, years ago, even if you had a woman that was a strong woman, she might happily get up to make her husband a plate of food, or a drink. And there was a time when doing nice things for someone you loved was seen as okay and normal. Well, if you are in a social situation now, if you are a woman and you have a boyfriend or husband, try doing this very thing I just described. And there will be at least one woman there, if not more, that will gang up on you and the man you are with the goal of bullying you to believe that this kind of behavior is wrong and beneath a strong woman. They will say, "Doesn't he have two hands?" Well, you should know. Part of controlling society was the feminist movement. And those of you that have been around for a while on this channel know I've talked about Erin Pizzey before. The woman that created the first woman's battered shelter, but was quickly turned on by the feminist of her day. And why was she turned on by these people? Because she realized the truth, that both men and women can be just as evil as one another. And it's not one-sided. Now, and this is important, if the feminist movement that turned against Erin Pizzey was about truly helping people, they would have been happy to at least talk about the information she found in order to come to the truth on how to truly help people. But just like the narcissist that was in your life, they are all about an agenda of gaining control. And they usually gain it through the manipulation of helping you or helping others. If you do these things, life will somehow get better and the help will somehow come. If you do that, then everything will be alright. And the goalpost keeps moving and moving and moving. Now, if this organization was on the side of truth, why did they threaten Erin's life so much so she had to flee England for more than a decade? And why were they marching around with signs that all men were all of these horrible things? That's because their agenda was to destroy the family unit and to make others as miserable as they were. You see, narcissists can feel, but they only feel joy when they are causing harm to others. But people being genuinely happy, it drives narcissists crazy. Because that's a feeling they will never have. And how dare you have it? Just like the pair of shoes you are so proud of. You see, growing up, I didn't have much. And amongst those that I knew, I was always the poorest one financially out of the group. But when one of them got something new, or their parents bought them something nice, I don't know what it was, but I didn't feel envious. And I think a great many of those that have been targets of narcissistic abuse can possibly relate. I mean, I did wish I had such a family and such love. But it never made me mad at that person or mad they were given something new. And I had nothing. I would genuinely tell them, "Wow, that's so cool. I'm so happy for you. But here's little old poor me. I was able to get a nice pair of shoes on sale. And I was made fun of." You see, it's this genuineness about you that the narcissists hate. How dare you be happy? Well, the feminists of Erin Pizzey's day, In Aaron's words, were extremely disturbed women from really bad backgrounds that were very, very violent. And they pushed their frustrations and unhappiness onto others. And because their father was no good, they wanted to say all men are no good. And they took it and ran with it and pushed it as far politically as they could. And those that really wanted control funded it, with the goal of splitting up men and women. All done through either manipulating them to give up their family, or bullying them out of it. So much so, it's now normalized. And who spoke up? The scapegoat child, which would have been Aaron Pizzi. And again, if what she was saying was so off base, just let her say it and no one would care, right? Well, the problem, she wasn't off base. And during that movement, golden child women were created because they just didn't want to be left out of the group. And as a result, we have a society where men and women are more divided than ever. And it's all really simple. The narcissist does what they do based on how people will behave in order to survive in a family structure. Or in this case, how they will behave to survive in society. And people will go along with some strange things if it's pushed enough and said over and over and over and over again by the news and all of their so-called friends, neighbors and co-workers. Even though it's all a hot mess. This is why I say, if you have found someone that you love and someone that loves you, you have to come up with a game plan to protect your relationship. Because you are enemy number one to those crazy people in society. If you believe in God, same thing. And if you have to sit down with each other and come up with a game plan to deal with these people when they try to manipulate or bully their way into your life. And just watch society. Ask yourself, how did we get here? And look around and look at who's bullying who. Look at the people that are mocking and putting down others and how little they know about what they say they believe in. And how miserable they are as people. And how they want you to be miserable right along with them. Because I do believe there is a reason why people don't go out and have fun anymore. And why friendships and relationships are on the decline. Because I want you to think about countries that had such oppressive rulership. One where your faith couldn't be practiced. And one where having a friend could be dangerous because of a fear they might turn against you just to get ahead. Well, things happen in steps. You ruin the family unit. You ruin every avenue of bonding and fun. You make people distrustful of one another. And disguise oppression as good. And make people afraid to speak the truth and not being a part of the group. I've said it before. And I will say it again. If you understand the patterns of narcissistic abuse and narcissistic manipulation, you will understand what is happening in this world. Well, that's all I have for today. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.